Well, coming from kindergarten, I taught 2 years in kindergarten and I implemented the KEA. We did the pilot, and moving to third grade, I think it's really important bringing that background knowledge I have. I think it's important that all teachers should look at the whole child,
Right.
not just at their test scores or how are they performing in reading. You should also be looking at their background, like are they able to regulate their emotions? Are they able to persevere within self-selected activities? So I think that's very important knowledge to bring to third grade.
I agree. I think so much of the time we're so focused on where a child is academically that we lose sight of other places where the child might need assistance and might need support with growing as a learner as a whole. So I think that's important that we look at all pieces of who they are. As a supporter of teachers, the formative assessment process in general, just looking at the construct progressions together with kindergarten and as we piloted with first through third gave us an idea of, as Caroline said, okay, a child can count a set of objects, but where do I take them next? I might not know. I might not have the tools as a teacher. But the constructs from the K-3 formative assessment will tell us, okay, well, now they need to state the final quantity after they've counted a set of objects. So it gave us tools by just looking at the progression of figuring out the next step of where to take the children instead of just being an assessment. It was a tool. And then what we noticed with kindergarten and looking at our school-wide data most recently is that our kindergarten scores from last year with our first implementation of the KEA process skyrocketed. We had a team that collaborated in looking with the constructs. We had instruction that was intentional, and just the process of formative assessment in general gave us the opportunity to know more about our children, which then carried over to the assessment without us intentionally teaching toward the assessment. So we saw that our specifically our M-class scores, we saw an increase higher than they've ever been, because we were deliberate, intentional, and we had the tool or some tools to help us take children to the place where they needed to be.
I'm more deliberate. I take notes and then I can guide my guided reading instruction or my whole group reading instruction based off of the data I've gathered.
Right. And we actually she was in kindergarten last year, so we took our first and second grade teachers to her classroom while she was implementing the formative assessment process. And so they were able to see what it physically looked like and how she was taking anecdotal notes and making the observations. And we came back together as grade levels and discussed that and talked about what that might look like in first and second grade. So it really helped us to see what it looks like in kindergarten so that we can try it in some of the upper grades that may not be as familiar with it.